Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM20. It's Champions. We're on episode number 40. We're at the Giro. It's stage 19 of 21. Hulk is our favorite for that. He sits third overall. After a lot of quick sims, we find ourselves not in the greatest position, and also we've struggled with the race day condition just a bit. It's been a really weird and now lengthy stretch of some really harsh race day conditions over and over again. We've had a couple days during this Giro where we've had what we should have, but we've been fairly below. I mean, our net plus should be about a plus 10 today, and we are sitting on about a plus 5, plus 6, something like that. Hulk has a plus 3. So even today, we still are about 5 points below where we should be. So again and again, that just kind of keeps plaguing us. A lot of -1s, Iron Man, Gamora, Groot, Ant-Man, all in that category. Gamora has really been kind of the center of that really poor race day condition day after day after day. She hasn't had a positive race day condition possibly throughout this entire tour. Well, anyway, we have 4 climbs to do today. At least Hulk's on that plus 3, and we're good there. And it actually appears that Hulk might have leveled up again. I can't say for certain, but I do believe they were at 83 mountain, now in 84 base. Still never have confirmed in any way, shape, or form whether it's possible to go beyond 85 with race day condition. Theoretically, the way the numbers work, you should be able to go beyond 85. Now, there's nothing past 85 in terms of what you could do through the leveling system, but that doesn't mean that race day condition necessarily can't impact that. Meaning, does Hulk have an 86 mountain today, or does he have an 85? There is a way to isolate that, and maybe I will run a test on that one of these days. Over the first climb, no damage, but our domestiques for the day, 3 of them are quite tired, and 1 of them a little tired. And we've got a little more uphill, but we've still got a decent amount of descending before we go into the more challenging 3 climbs to come. Peloton now at 88 riders, and gosh, this is probably actually one of the best opportunities to get water. Let's send somebody who's hanging there. No, yes, Deadpool with your hill rating could make your way quickly back through the group. So we'll keep an eye on that one. What's going on, Doctor Strange? Why are you... Oh, pace. Okay. Push that up. Deadpool still has not gotten water, but there it is. Okay, starting to climb. 13.5K for this one, 7.7%. It's a longer, tougher climb than it certainly looked like. We've got over 10K to go to the top still, and it's pretty steep there to the top. So this is a bigger, more challenging climbing stage than it looks initially on the on paper. You can see everybody's suffering a little bit of fatigue here. We're already down to 61 riders. Groot's about to get dropped. Deadpool needs to gel up. Ant-Man needs to gel up. Groot's probably too late. Iron Man as well. You can see we're getting a little bit of blinking red, but they seem to be holding their position okay, so we're managing that effort a little bit. Yeah, Groot's the only one who's actually going out so far. But we are heading into the steepest section, and it's still 5K to go to the top. So, yeah, I do suspect that all of the domestiques are going to end up getting dropped on this climb, and then we'll have to reset up for the next climb. There's Deadpool. Going out, and there we go. Down to 42 riders now. Ant-Man and Iron Man are the other 2 domestiques. Good servants. Okay, on to auto, and we're down to 37. Everybody else is hanging in there. 3K to go to the top, though. I am not going to protect Hulk right now. I'm hoping the descent is going to allow for recovery. I'm going to try to keep this group of 4 for the next climb. Otherwise, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. I mean, you can see at least 4 Ineos riders here. Fellini, Nassen, Degent, Vanderpool out. Vanderpool was pretty high up overall, wasn't he? No, not any longer. Craig Anderson, Hershey out the back, Conchi out the back. Philippe Ogana, points leader. Interesting, points leader, huh? Not quite dropped. Cosnefroy. Anybody here that's a contender in any way? Gamora's just hanging on here. 700 meters. Looking okay at the moment. Pace is not as bad as it was, and that's allowing Gamora to stay in, which is what I wanted. I'd like to have 4 riders for that next climb, so we do not need to try to take advantage and push. We don't have a ton of energy here. 82k, we need water again, but we'll wait till over the top of the next climb to take care of that. Breakaways all over the road. 6 minutes ahead to the front rider. Just 25 here in the peloton. They had a pretty hefty gap, but it's bigger than what it was, so it was just 4 minutes over the previous climb, so definitely allowed them to ride away a bit, but there we go. Now we set things up. It's going to be Gamora to protect Hulk. It's going to be Wolverine to protect Doctor Strange. 75k. Hulk's going to complete that recovery, but oh crap. Come on. Really? Gamora goes down. Is she going to get back on the bike? Oh, she does. Gosh, she hesitated there for a little bit. I thought she was done. That's 2.5 minutes back, though, so no way she's coming back from that one. And that makes this easy. It's now a 3-horse race. That sucks, though. One rider goes down, and it's Gamora. And how is she on the downhill? 72. She's not that bad. She is fighting to try to get back up there. Hey, Wolverine, it's going to be jail time for you soon. We're at 25 again, but I think that's because we brought in a breakaway rider. Okay, gel for Wolverine. Jack Haig turning the screw at the front. Banut, Vingegaard also working. Okay, now we have just under 6k to go. This could be one to try to push and maybe drop a couple riders before the top. However, I'd still rather have 3. We're down to 20 riders, so they're getting dropped anyway. But I think Wolverine might be getting dropped here.
Whoa, there's an attack from inside the
and they are. Doctor Strange also fading, but I might make it. It's 1.5k. So we're not at the front. Not yet anyway. 3.5 minutes now to the front, so we gained a lot of ground on this climb. Oh, yes, Doctor Strange hangs on. Okay, maintain. This is the one where we need water, so Doctor Strange, go get that. 22 riders. Wolverine is 2 minutes back. Gamora is 6 minutes back. That hurts. Okay, 22 riders and protect. 4 riders left off the front. Gap now decreasing here over the flat and increasing. It's going both ways. Depends on how hard we're pushing, which is not very hard. I don't have enough riders to do anything like that. Wolverine is back. Now we actually do have somebody to push things a little bit. Let's go ahead and set this one back up just the way it was. Also prepare for the final climb. 25 chasing 4. They're out to 4 minutes and 40 seconds, so they've gained nearly 2 minutes on this descent by working harder. Pushing for the stage. In that front group, Lucas Hamilton, Sepp Kuss, George Bennett, and David A. De La Cruz. Pogacar, Foss lead. We are 2 minutes 7 seconds down. Presumably all 3 of us are here in this one. No reason to believe otherwise.
15 kilometers to the finish line.
And here we go. 17.2 kilometers, 1,900 meters of climbing, 6.6% on the average gradient, and it absolutely ramps up for the last half, the last 8 kilometers or so. Big acceleration all of a sudden. Looks like UAE just has a ton of riders around, but it's not all UAE. That's Lotto Soudal as well.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with percentages above 10%.
Okay, we're at 11%. This is the steep section, the only steep section in the first half, and then it levels off. We go flat for a little bit.
Left.
24 chasing 4. They're down to a minute 40. I thought they might hang on to this one, but not at this rate. Not with a minute 30 left to go. There they are. We're already coming up on 3 of those riders. And Wolverine is going to be done here very soon. Vlasov? Is Vlasov attacking? Oh, yes, they are. And so is Landa. Okay. Switch. Chase. You call that climbing, Doctor Strange? You call that climbing? $7K to go, and not a whole lot of energy for Hulk. We're going to gel early because we're seeing a move right now.
And they keep on attacking.
And we're about to leave behind that entire group.
Except, the team leader is falling behind.
Was there anybody in there that we even needed? Carthy is behind us. Yates, Carapaz, there's Pogacar, it's Paulus. Oh no, there's Foss. So yeah, we need to be making a move. How is it you're not responding to Foss? Why don't we just take position here? It's all together, just the one rider left off the front. It's Vlasov. We've already brought him back. Hindley now doing the work. I don't know, Vlasov's still there. Foss on the attack.
We're into the last 5 kilometers. Things are hotting up at the front.
Do not have a lot of energy to make a move at this point, so this is dangerous. Foss is, I don't know how they're pulling that off. Carapaz is not the threat.
This climb is feared by many riders. The percentages are very high.
4K to go. We're in the steepest section. It's going to level off a little bit. If we're going to make a move, it's going to have to be there because, again, we just don't have a ton of energy. Foss and Carapaz up ahead. Oh, come on. Getting blocked. Landa blocked us off a little bit, and we did not follow the move in the end, which is why I don't use that button very often. 3K to go. Round this corner, and it eases off. We're at 11.5% right now. 4 chasing 1, chasing 2, and we are missing out on that front little move. But we are seemingly hanging on to a podium depending on what happens with Carapaz. 2K to go. And we're coming back at Pogacar. There's Foss. Carapaz, what's the gap on Carapaz? 4:47. He's not gaining that kind of time here. 1K to go. 1K to go. We'll have just a little bit for that last little push. Last little push. Come on. 500 meters. Okay, there's that last little push.
In the end,
Carapaz takes the stage. Foss grabs second. Pogacar, Carthy, Martinez. 6th on the stage, Landa 7th. How much of that goes down to the crash of Gamora? How badly did that hurt us? We went from 3 support riders down to 2. Wolverine did their best, but one more rider certainly could have helped us out a bit longer. We might have been able to save Doctor Strange for the final bits, potentially, and maybe been a little bit better off. But riding solo such a steep climb on the hardest difficulty, where they always have more stamina ultimately than what you have to work with. Close, but not quite there. For stage 20, we have the largest breakaway that I've ever seen. Not in terms of time, but in terms of size. 60 riders in the breakaway today. They were quickly going out to over 5 minutes. It was clear that they were going to run away with stage, as almost every team has some component or no interest. DSM and Bora seem to be the only two teams that had any thought of keeping it in check, but they weren't keeping it in check very well. So I've added Groot to that chase, and you can see the others have lifted on that. They seem happy with about 5 minutes. I'm happy with 4:15, so I'm trying to back off a little bit and hope that we can get Yves Lampard and Chad Haga to contribute a little bit more. But 150k to go on this stage. There's 4 climbs, but the big climbs are here in the middle of the stage, and then it's going to ease off. So if you can get through those first 2 climbs with a giant breakaway and a steady rate, you're going to have half the peloton left, maybe, by the end of that. And if we have the majority of our riders, all but say a couple, then we're pretty well set to finish off nicely. We still sit 3rd place, even though we did lose time on that last stage. So we're not in a bad position, but the gap is much closer to the riders behind Hulk than it is to the riders at the front. Foss, Pogacar are very close to each other. I have no idea how Foss has had such an amazing race. He's clearly got objective and reconnoitering and fitness peak and all of that happening, because he is punching well above his weight for this race and crushing Hulk, who's been okay but should not be getting beat by Foss the way he has been. Speaking of, how are you going backwards? It's been our leader who is leading this thing, and
a couple of teams have set themselves up as pacemakers for the
let's
pack.
set that
They
81,
obviously
but
don't
group,
have
no,
anybody in
you're
the
not
breakaway
going
group.
to set that 81. You're going to set like a 72. Group, go ahead and gel up. We need to get water from somebody. Ant-Man, go ahead. 132k to go overall in stage, but pace isn't that bad right now. Okay, Groot got dropped. I'm surprised. The pace did pick up, so there's already just 43 riders left in the peloton. Wow, they're doing way more damage than I expected. Still, yeah, Groot. Craig Anderson's already out. Vanderpool, Bevan,
Another attack in the leading group.
Plankart, Fellini, Pollitt. I'm really shocked at how small this group is already, and then the front group has already shattered. I mean, we kept it at that 4 minutes, so now it's at 4 minutes, and we're pulling back big components of that breakaway, or at least on the verge of pulling those back. Groot obviously was dropped, but now we're at a point where everybody else has made it through this climb. We're going to get a chance to recover a bit. We've got enough to get through the next climbs, 24k. So we do not need to get water again right now. Hulk is doing okay. Doctor Strange is doing okay. A lot of fatigue otherwise. Deadpool and Iron Man obviously are not going to recover much here. 16k for the Paso Gavia. 8%. That's a lot for 16k. 2,600 meters. And here we go. 43 riders left in the peloton. Even Gamora did not quite get fully recovered. Ant-Man's good. Wolverine's good. Deadpool and Iron Man, as expected, not so much. We're going to want to use their gel fairly early, 14k. Keep it on the breakaway time. Make sure it doesn't blow up too much. A lot of time to recover that. And you know what, I'm not really worried about the stage so much. It's about not losing time to our competitors. Deadpool. Yeah, we're doing okay. Heart rate's 150, push 160 every once in a while. And now into recovery mode, and the gap's up to 11 minutes. Deadpool, go ahead. Move to the front. 12:20. Deadpool gel. Still holding at 12:20. Now we're finally making some progress on pulling riders back and or dropping riders. But Deadpool's done as we approach the top. Under 1K to go. Breakaway's going to win the stage. That's clear with 13 minutes, but the climb's done. And even Groot is back into the group and getting water. There's only 36 riders here, but Groot's in it. That's impressive for Groot to be in it when there's only 36 here. And then Deadpool's doing the work at the front. Groot, I want you to protect Doctor Strange. Gap's back to 12 minutes, but that's definitely not going to be enough to do anything. Deadpool's 78 effort is definitely hurting them, but it's keeping us in check here. Down to 10 minutes as things flatten out a little bit. Deadpool's effort is definitely more than what the front group is mustering. 9 minutes, but he's going to run out of energy. Backing off just that little bit is allowing DSM to get involved. Brought it back to 8.5 minutes. But we're going to have to put Groot on that task now. Oh, hello, onto the climb. 11.5K to go. 10.8 for this one. Motorola. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. We're talking about 33 riders is all, other than the ones we just brought in. Carapaz going on the attack. That's us that's going to impact, so Groot is the one we're following. And then Hulk is right there. Iron Man is also right there, so let's get Iron Man right behind you. We'll get Wolverine behind you. And then we're going to get Ant-Man. Then we're going to have Hulk in the middle of the line, so we're protected. And then Gamora and Doctor Strange at the back, and we'll scoot them up as we drop riders out. Iron Man, we need to gel up at this time. Cannot let Carapaz get away here. 9K to go. That's a long time for a sprint train. Groot can climb a little bit, but not well enough to keep Carapaz in check at this point. Okay. I'm going to push a little harder here because Iron Man's gel is active, and this would be the time I want them on the front. The good thing here is we could actually end up giving Carapaz enough, just enough of a lead that we could potentially get him to crack, be away long enough that Carapaz uses up all of his energy trying to make something happen, and then not actually succeeding at doing it. 6.5K to go. There you go. We're back to Carapaz, and we're pulling in another big chunk of that breakaway group. All right, time to swap the order. Still following Wolverine at this point because there's just not much energy left. 5K to go. Hulk's not going to make that unless we recover, but made a little progress. But here comes Carapaz on the move again, pushing through. So Gamora is going to take over and lead this thing out.
An attack is launched.
Gegenhart going with Carapaz.
There's a breakaway in the leading group.
Look how weak we are. Oh, Hulk's on this -1. Paulus, Hindley, Knox. These aren't riders who should be a threat, but
Watch out.
they
The
are
team leader is
threatening.
falling behind.
And what happened with Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange never even did anything. They're on a +1. 79 mountain, 80 resistance. Wow, I mean, this is a super hard climb, but I mean, look at all these weak climbers who are just blowing us away at the moment. Hulk riding solo at the moment, but there's Foss, Vlasov, Mahorich. Carapaz still going for it. I want you to take position here. Yeah, so much for that idea. 13 in the peloton, so we definitely have a group, and there's our 2 leaders, but there's some riders up the road who are threatening to get onto the podium.
The riders are in a portion above 10%.
One K to go to the top. I'd like to push to try to pull back because it's a minute and a half ahead of us already. So Gegenhart, Coretto, Vlasov, and Carapaz way up the road. They are 2.5 minutes ahead. We've got enough of a descent here to pull this back. So this is a few seconds that we can gain. Just a little bit of effort there.
They're heading downhill, so they've got to make sure to keep warm and make no mistakes on their trajectory.
12 riders here in the group. Just over a minute to Gamora, Wolverine, Ant-Man also just behind that. So if they get back together with this group, we're good. We're recovering right now. 26K to go. We need to get water.
For the breakaway.
The last climb's not that bad. Okay, Hulk got water. And scooting forward again. Still recovering. Not recovering as well as I thought they would, but part of that could have been because of the water. Fortunately, that was a necessary evil, and there is a major evil as Hulk goes down. And now, everything has changed.
Attack with the finishing line within reach.
Okay, Hulk, you need to push. We're going to bring back these riders with us.
Falling behind. A team leader is falling behind.
Okay, now you can stop pushing. Ah, oh my. Oh my. Hulk went down in a crash. 78 downhill rating. You don't see many riders with anything better than that. And who do we want to use? At the moment, that's going to be the downhill and or flat rating of Ant-Man. Still have a gel for Ant-Man. Now we got to push like crazy. Gamora's still dropping back to us. Let's go ahead and check where she's going to be. Flat also.
Things are hotting up at the front.
Huh? Okay, not 99, sorry, but let's do a 93, huh? So, 13.5K to go. It's a 12K climb, officially. 3.9%, it's not that bad, but can we pull it back? We are 3 minutes down. 3 minutes behind. That's ridiculously bad luck as we burst past another group. Now there's only a single rider between us and what's left of that peloton, which is just 11 riders. Ant-Man, you do not have any red bar left, but you certainly have yellow bar, so let's use it. 10K to go. $9K to go. We are not pulling back much time, but we're pulling back some time right now. On the front riders anyway. And breakaway's splitting up. They're down to just over a minute to the back end of that. And Ant-Man is done. On to Wolverine. Oh my. Oh my. We've definitely split this group up. There's not much left of it. Who cares? Don't worry about them. Wolverine is done. On to Gamora. 5K to go. Hulk does not have much left in the tank. And we've propped back Hindley and Ghana and Paulus. But these still aren't the leaders. And that's it for Gamora. And it's 4K to go. And Hulk just does not have anything left to attack with. So we're going to have to just kind of keep pushing with Gamora as best she can. 2 minutes down to the next group of riders in front of us. Hamilton, David De La Cruz, Brenner, Carapaz, and Vlasov keep their advantage. 4-5. There's the podium already gone. That's already been a minute. There's your next group. Pogacar. We've lost the podium here because of a crash. Because of a crash. Foss just now crosses the line. Foss ends up losing a bunch of time today. But we lost significantly more. I'm not even sure we're going to hang on to a top 5 here. Those are the riders we just caught re-attacking off the front. Save a little something. 19th on the stage. Disaster has struck. We were just talking last stage how much it impacted us that Gamora crashed. But having the leader, who was already solo and isolated, crash is worse. Having 3 teammates to help pull back some time helped, but we lost 3 full minutes before Hulk was off and going again. 3 minutes. That is an incredible amount of time to be down for a crash on stage 20 of a race that you are on the podium of that late. I mean, it's incredible when it's 20 or 30 seconds in real life, but 3 minutes, that's an insane amount of time.
Just in case you missed them, here are the race.
See what Carapaz was at 25. Lead group 148. Chase group 228. So they actually didn't lose that much time. And here was the riders we were with. We end up at 431. So we end up 4 minutes down from those lead riders, but it was 3 minutes to this group. And that is where we ended up, just under 3 minutes to them. So the last few riders kept the gap about the same as what we did. So we had 4 riders to chase, and they had a group of, 15, 14 riders. We pulled back a minute on them and blew out the rest of them. The rest of them either were with us here at the end or dropped. So, yes, we made a lot of progress, but we didn't gain much. I mean, we only gained a handful of seconds. And then Carapaz and Vlasov were already, 2 minutes up the road? They ended up a little over a minute. That was bad. That was incredibly unlucky. Oh, yes, we did. We missed the top 5 entirely as a result. So Pogacar hangs on to the lead. Foss slips back to 49 seconds. Carapaz does take the podium, and Vlasov does take 4th. We would have been probably 5th place from the looks of it. However, 3 minutes, folks. We lost 3 minutes. 2:23, we would have still been on the podium. Had we not crashed, we would have still been on the podium. If we were with at least Pogacar at the finish, we would not have, this wouldn't have happened. Ouch. Well, unlucky, very unlucky in our first ever Grand Tour appearance. It wasn't great anyway. So already we'll concede that point. It was not great to begin with. I mean, we were looking at just on the podium, but a crash on the last climbing stage, that's painful. And really kind of concludes that stretch of a lot of bad luck. Really poor race day conditions. Again. The backache for Hulk. Maybe that's why he crashed. No, that's not part of the game coding, but theoretically, storyline, we can kind of attribute that as he was dealing with back pain, and that's why he had the -1 on the day, even though he was still supposed to have the +1, but after effect. Dr. Strange picked up some slight tiredness this week, and then Nebula not feeling well, though she wasn't in the race. We've just really unlucky during this stretch. Really unlucky. I mean, you look at the infirmary. We're the top riders that are impacted. Pogacar is now going to move further ahead in his World Tour rankings, and then we have the next 4 slots. We're absolutely crushing it in the World Tour rankings compared to everybody else, as we are nearly 2-1, or going to be nearly 2-1 after this, I think. We'll see. There is that single stage still. Stage 21 was a sprint stage. Hulk was feeling even worse after that crash, after that race day. The backache became a severe backache, but it was one stage to go, so they toughed it out, got through it. They do finish 6th overall, no change to the GC. Points classification, Group ends up just 3 points shy of Nizzolo, nearly wins it. Hulk and Deadpool were actually up there in the top 10 of the standings as well. Climbing, there was way too many riders going in breakaways. It ends up being Lucas Hamilton ahead of fellow countryman George Bennett in that classification. Under 25s, Hulk at least does hang on and win that one fairly comfortably. And in the team classification, we end up in second place, 4 minutes down on Ineos. That last stage definitely hurt that one quite a bit. We lost, again, roughly 3 minutes, and with all those riders, because they backed up to try to help Hulk recover a little bit of time. And following the Giro, here is the new rankings. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, but Pogacar absolutely just crushing it. Went from 2nd or 3rd place in the standings to now 1,000 points clear after leading the majority of the Giro. Hershey, Bernal, Van Aert, Alaphilippe, and Landau round out the top 10. Cyclops, of all riders, is now 11th. So pretty impressive for them. Quintana and Buoni are the leaders, both riding with Citroën of the Continental rankings. In the Super Prestige, Pogacar now on top by 500 points. Hulk, Deadpool, Gamora, Ivan Sosa, Groot, and Cyclops all in the top 7. So, yes, we're having a very solid season. Yes, we are dominating in certain ways, but we're definitely not completely dominant yet. So there's plenty more to achieve with this series. We certainly look good on paper, though, with 13,000 World Tour points. Ineos next best. It is more than double what they have, as they now have 6,000. Citroën, of course, 2,300, crushing it in the Continental. No surprise on that one. But in the Super Prestige, we are on top, not at a 2-1 rate, but we're definitely well ahead of the curve. 8,724 points now. Plenty of seasons still to go. We got the Tour de France. We got the Vuelta. I'm not worried about the sponsor confidence. We can kind of do whatever we want. We've already done a little GC focus. I don't know if we want to do something else. Of course, we had a sprinter in group there, but I didn't actually focus on them. That was all quick sim. They were 3 points away from winning that. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see happen with the 2 Grand Tours coming up, because at this point, I have no idea what direction I want to go with those, whether I would like to go for stages or GC, as we came up well short here, and this one petered out. Whether we want to go for one of the jerseys, whatever it may be, let me know in the comments below, and we'll go from there. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.